Places, symbols and discoveries for Northern Mariana Islands. Highest point, Mount Agrihan. National anthem, Gi Talo Gi Halem Tassi. The Northern Mariana Islands, together with Guam to the south, compose the Mariana Islands archipelago. Guyana at a glance. For Guyana. Capital, Georgetown. Region, Latin America and Caribbean. Population, 835,986, 2025. Land area, 214,970 km2, 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Daily life in numbers for Guyana. Life expectancy, 70.3 years, 2024. Internet use, 83.0%, 2024. Urban population, 26.5%, 2025. Places, symbols and discoveries for Guyana. The territory controlled by Guyana lies between latitudes 1 degrees and 9 degrees N, and longitudes 56 degrees and 62 degrees W. It is one of the world's most sparsely populated countries. Kyrgyz Republic at a glance. For Kyrgyz Republic. Capital, Bishkek. Region, Europe and Central Asia. World Bank Income Group, lower middle income. Economy and work for Kyrgyz Republic. Currency, Kyrgyz som. Daily life in numbers for Kyrgyz Republic. Official languages, Kyrgyz. Places, symbols and discoveries for Kyrgyz Republic. Highest point, Jengish Chokusu. National anthem, state anthem of the Kyrgyz Republic. Kyrgyzstan is a landlocked country in Central Asia, bordering Kazakhstan, China, Tajikistan and Uzbekistan. Switzerland at a glance. For Switzerland. Capital, Bern. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population, 9,092,436, 2025. World Bank Income Group, high income. Economy and work for Switzerland. GDP, $1.04t, 2025. Unemployment, 4.9%, 2025. Currency, Swiss franc. Daily life in numbers for Switzerland. Internet use, 97.3% 2025. Official languages, French, German, Italian. Places, symbols and discoveries for Switzerland. Highest point, Duferspitze. National anthem, Swiss psalm. Extending across the north and south side of the Alps in west-central Europe, Switzerland encompasses diverse landscapes and climates across its 41,291 square kilometers, 15,943 sq mi. Qatar at a glance for Qatar. Capital, Doha. Region, Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Population, 2,972,215, 2025. World Bank Income Group, high income. Economy and work for Qatar. Unemployment, 0.1%, 2025. Currency, Qatari rial. Daily life in numbers for Qatar. Official languages, Arabic. Places, symbols and discoveries for Qatar. Highest point, Qurein Abu al-Bal. National anthem, As-Salam al-Amiri. The Qatari peninsula protrudes 160 kilometers 100 mi into the Persian Gulf, north of Saudi Arabia. Selected historic milestones for Qatar. Country inception, 1870 to 01 to 01. Prehistory, human habitation in Qatar dates back to 50,000 years ago. Greece at a glance for Greece. Capital, Athens. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Land area, 131,960 km2, 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Economy and work for Greece. Unemployment, 8.5%, 2025. Currency, euro. Daily life in numbers for Greece. Life expectancy, 81.8 years, 2024. Official languages, Greek. Places, symbols and discoveries for Greece. Highest point, Mount Olympus. National anthem, Hymn to Liberty. Located in southern and southeast Europe, Greece has the longest coastline on the Mediterranean basin, spanning thousands of islands and 9 traditional geographic regions: Macedonia, central Greece. Morocco at a glance for Morocco. Capital, Rabat. Region, Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan and Pakistan. World Bank Income Group, lower middle income. Economy and work for Morocco. GDP, $182.37 2025. Unemployment, 9.0% 2025. Currency, Moroccan dirham. Daily life in numbers for Morocco. Official languages, Arabic, Standard Moroccan Tamazight. Places, symbols and discoveries for Morocco. Highest point, Jebel Toubkal. National anthem, Cherifian anthem. Morocco has a coast on the Atlantic Ocean that reaches past the Strait of Gibraltar into the Mediterranean Sea. Selected historic milestones for Morocco. Country inception, 0789 to 01 to 01. Prehistory and antiquity, the area of present-day Morocco has been inhabited since at least Paleolithic times, beginning sometime between 190,000 and 90,000 BC. Economy and work for Nicaragua. GDP, $22.24 2025. GDP per person, $3.17 2025. Unemployment, 5.0% 2025. Currency, Nicaraguan Cordoba. Places, symbols and discoveries for Nicaragua. Highest point, Cerro Mogoton. National anthem, Salvatay. Nicaragua occupies a landmass of 130,967 km2, 50,567 sq which makes it slightly larger than England. Curacao at a glance for Curacao. Capital, Willemstad. Region, Latin America and Caribbean. Population, 156,263 2025. Land area, 444 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Daily life in numbers for Curacao. Life expectancy, 77.0 years 2024. Internet use, 68.1% 2017. Urban population, 91.5% 2025. Official languages, English, Dutch, Papiamento. Selected historic milestones for Curacao. Country inception, 1954 to 01 to 01. The first Europeans recorded as seeing the island were members of a Spanish expedition under the leadership of Alonso de Ojeda in 1499. Luxembourg at a glance for Luxembourg. Capital, Luxembourg. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population, 686,970 2025. Land area, 2,590 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, High Income. Daily life in numbers for Luxembourg. Life expectancy, 83.2 years 2024. Internet use, 99.1% 2025. Urban population, 94.9% 2025. Official languages, French, German, Luxembourgish. Selected historic milestones for Luxembourg. Country inception, 1815 to 01 to 01. Before AD 963, the first traces of settlement in what is now Luxembourg are dated back to the Paleolithic Age, about 35,000 years ago. Belgium at a glance for Belgium. Capital, Brussels. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population, 11,941,781, 2025. World Bank Income Group, High Income. Economy and work for Belgium. GDP per person, $60.75k 2025. Currency, Euro. Daily life in numbers for Belgium. Life expectancy, 82.3 years 2024. Internet use, 95.8% 2024. Official languages, French, German, Dutch. Places, symbols and discoveries for Belgium. Highest point, Signal de Bot range. National anthem, the Brabançon. Belgium shares borders with France 620 km, 390 mi, Germany 162/167 km, Luxembourg 148 km, 92 mi, and the Netherlands 450 km, 280 mi. Serbia at a glance for Serbia. Capital, Belgrade. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population, 6,549,143 2025. Land area, 84,990 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, Upper Middle Income. Daily life in numbers for Serbia. Life expectancy, 76.0 years 2024. Internet use, 87.7% 2024. Urban population, 62.6% 2025. Official languages, Serbian. Selected historic milestones for Serbia. Country inception, 2006 to 01 to 01. A fragment of a hominid jaw found in Sisvo Mala Balanica is believed to be up to 525,397,000 years old. Sao Tome and Principe at a glance. For Sao Tome and Principe. Capital, Sao Tome. Region, Sub-Saharan Africa. Population, 240,254 2025. Land area, 960 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, lower middle income. Daily life in numbers for Sao Tome and Principe. Life expectancy, 69.9 years 2024. Internet use, 59.1% 2024. Urban population, 69.2% 2025. Official languages, Portuguese. Selected historic milestones for Sao Tome and Principe. Country inception, 1975 to 07 to 12. The islands of Sao Tome and Principe were uninhabited when the Portuguese arrived 21 December 1470. Iran Islamic Rep. At a glance for Iran Islamic Rep. Capital, Tehran. Region, Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Population, 92,417,681 2025. World Bank Income Group, upper middle income. Daily life in numbers for Iran Islamic Rep. Life expectancy, 77.9 years, 2024. Official languages, Persian. Places, symbols and discoveries for Iran Islamic Rep. Highest point, Damavand. National anthem of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Iran has an area of 1,648,195 km2, 636,372 mi2, making it is the sixth largest country entirely in Asia and the second largest in West Asia. Gambia the at a glance for Gambia the capital, Banjul, region, Sub-Saharan Africa. Population, 2,822,093 2025. Land area, 11,300 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, low income. Daily life in numbers for Gambia the life expectancy 66.1 years 2024, internet use 49.5% 2024, urban population 65.0% 2025, official languages English. Selected historic milestones for Gambia the country inception 1965 to 01 to 01. In 1588, the claimant to the Portuguese throne, Antonio, Prior of Crato, sold exclusive trade rights on the Gambia River to English merchants. Singapore at a glance. For Singapore. Capital, Singapore. Region, East Asia and Pacific. Population, 6,111,175 2025. Land area, 728 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Daily life in numbers for Singapore. Life expectancy, 83.3 years 2024. Internet use, 94.4% 2024. Urban population, 100.0% 2025. Official languages, English, Tamil, Malay. Selected historic milestones for Singapore. Country inception, 1965 to 08 to 09. Ancient Singapore in 1299. According to the Malay annals, the Kingdom of Singapura was founded on the island by Sang Nila Utama. Economy and work for Guyana. GDP, $27.1 2025. GDP per person, $32.41 2025. Unemployment, 12.0% 2025. Daily life in numbers for Guyana. Life expectancy, 70.3 years 2024. Internet use, 83.0% 2024. Urban population, 26.5% 2025. Places, symbols and discoveries for Guyana. The territory controlled by Guyana lies between latitudes 1 degrees and 9 degrees N and longitudes 56 degrees and 62 degrees W. It is one of the world's most sparsely populated countries. Singapore at a glance. For Singapore. Capital, Singapore. Region, East Asia and Pacific. Population, 6,111,175 2025. Land area, 728 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Daily life in numbers for Singapore. Life expectancy, 83.3 years 2024. Internet use, 94.4% 2024. Urban population, 100.0% 2025. Official languages, English, Tamil, Malay. Selected historic milestones for Singapore. Country inception, 1965 to 08 to 09. Ancient Singapore in 1299. According to the Malay annals, The Kingdom of Singapura was founded on the island by Sang Nila Utama. Economy and work for New Zealand. GDP $264.06 2025. GDP per person $49.59 2025. Unemployment 5.1% 2025. Currency New Zealand dollar. Places, symbols and discoveries for New Zealand. Highest point, Aoraki/Mount Cook. National anthem, God Defend New Zealand. New Zealand is near the center of the water hemisphere and comprises 2 main islands and more than 700 smaller islands. Sint Maarten Dutch part at a glance. For Sint Maarten Dutch part. Capital, Philipsburg. Region, Latin America and Caribbean. World Bank Income Group, high income. Economy and work for Sint Maarten Dutch part. Currency, Caribbean guilder. Daily life in numbers for Sint Maarten Dutch part. Official languages, English, Dutch. Places, symbols and discoveries for Sint Maarten Dutch part. National anthem, O Sweet St. Martin's Land. St. Martin occupies the southern part of the island of St. Martin in the Leeward Islands. The northern half forms the French territory of St. Martin. Selected historic milestones for St. Martin Dutch part. Country inception, 2010 to 01 to 01. Pre-colonial St. Martin had been inhabited by the indigenous peoples for many centuries, with archaeological finds pointing to a human presence on the island as early as 2000 BC. Economy and work for Czechia. GDP $391.03 2025. GDP per person $35.92 2025. Unemployment 2.8% 2025. Currency Czech koruna. Places, symbols and discoveries for Czechia. Highest point, Snežka. National anthem, KDE Domov Mudge. The Czech Republic lies mostly between latitudes 48 degrees and 51 degrees N and longitudes 12 degrees and 19 degrees E. Colombia at a glance. For Colombia. Capital, Bogotá. Region, Latin America and Caribbean. Population, 53,425,635 2025. Land area, 1,140,619 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, upper middle income. Daily life in numbers. For Colombia. Life expectancy, 77.9 years 2024. Internet use, 79.3% 2024. Urban population, 78.8% 2025. Official languages, Spanish. Selected historic milestones. For Colombia. Country inception, 1810 to 01 to 01. The oldest archaeological finds are from the Pubenza and El Tutumo sites in the Magdalena Valley, 100 kilometers, 62 miles southwest of Bogotá. Turkmenistan at a glance. For Turkmenistan. Capital, Ashgabat. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population, 7,618,847 2025. Land area, 491,209 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, upper middle income. Daily life in numbers. For Turkmenistan. Life expectancy, 70.2 years 2024. Internet use, 18.0% 2016. Urban population, 47.1% 2025. Official languages, Turkmen. Selected historic milestones. For Turkmenistan. Country inception, 1991 to 10 to 27. In 1855, the Turkmen tribe of Teek, led by Gaushat Khan, defeated the invading army of the Khan of Khiva Muhammad Amin Khan, and in 1861, the invading Persian army of Nasruddin Shah. Economy and work. For Tunisia. GDP, $57.5 2025. GDP per person, $4.66 2025. Unemployment, 15.1% 2025. Currency, Tunisian dinar. Places, symbols and discoveries. For Tunisia. Highest point, Jebel Etch Chambai. National anthem, Humat al-Hima. Tunisia is situated on the Mediterranean coast of northwest Africa, midway between the Atlantic Ocean and the Nile Delta. Selected historic milestones. For Tunisia. Country inception, 1956 to 03 to 20. Antiquity, farming methods, reached the Nile Valley from the Fertile Crescent region about 5000 BC and spread to the Maghreb by about 4000 BC. Economy and work for Colombia. GDP $457.41 2025. GDP per person $8.56K 2025. Unemployment 8.3% 2025. Currency Colombian peso. Places, symbols, and discoveries for Colombia. Highest point, Pico Cristobal Colón. National anthem of Colombia. The geography of Colombia is characterized by its 6 main natural regions that present their unique characteristics, from the Andes mountain range region, the Pacific coastal region, the Caribbean coastal. São Tomé and Príncipe at a glance. For São Tomé and Príncipe. Capital, São Tomé. Region, Sub-Saharan Africa. Population, 240,254 2025. Land area, 960 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, lower middle income. Daily life in numbers for São Tomé and Príncipe. Life expectancy 69.9 years 2024. Internet use 59.1% 2024. Urban population 69.2% 2025. Official languages Portuguese. Selected historic milestones for São Tomé and Príncipe. Country inception 1975 to 07 to 12. The islands of São Tomé and Príncipe were uninhabited when the Portuguese arrived 21 December 1470. Virgin Islands, US. At a glance for Virgin Islands, US. Capital Charlotte Amalie. Region Latin America and Caribbean. Population 103,792 2025. Land area 350 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Daily life in numbers for Virgin Islands, US. Life expectancy 80.8 years 2024. Internet use 64.4% 2017. Urban population 95.4% 2025. Official languages English. Selected historic milestones for Virgin Islands, US. Country inception 1917 to 03 to 31. Virgin Islands were originally inhabited by Arawakan-speaking peoples, with some scholars thinking that the islands were inhabited from as early as 1000 BC. Papua New Guinea at a glance for Papua New Guinea. Capital, Port Moresby. Region, East Asia and Pacific. Population, 10,762,817, 2025. World Bank Income Group, lower middle income. Economy and work for Papua New Guinea. GDP $32.5 2025. GDP per person $3.02 2025. Unemployment 2.6% 2025. Currency Kina. Daily life in numbers for Papua New Guinea. Life expectancy 66.3 years 2024. Official languages English, Hiri Motu, Tok Pisin. Places, symbols and discoveries for Papua New Guinea. Highest point, Mount Wilhelm. National anthem, O Arise All You Sons. Papua New Guinea extends over 462,840 km to 178,704 sq mi, including a large mainland and a number of islands. Gambia at a glance for Gambia the capital, Banjul, region, Sub-Saharan Africa. Population 2,822,093 2025. Land area 11,300 km 2 2023. World Bank Income Group, low income. Daily life in numbers for Gambia the life expectancy 66.1 years 2024. Internet use 49.5% 2024. Urban population 65.0% 2025. Official languages English. Selected historic milestones for Gambia the country inception 1965 to 01 to 01. In 1588, the claimant to the Portuguese throne, Antonio, Prior of Crato, sold exclusive trade rights on the Gambia River to English merchants. Barbados at a glance for Barbados. Capital, Bridgetown, region, Latin America and Caribbean. Land area 430 km 2 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Economy and work for Barbados. GDP $8.02 2025. GDP per person $28.36 2025. Unemployment 6.5% 2025. Currency Barbadian dollar. Places, symbols and discoveries for Barbados. Highest point, Mount Hillaby. National anthem of Barbados. Barbados is a blend of West African, Portuguese, Creole, Indian and British cultures. Selected historic milestones for Barbados. Country inception, 1966 to 11 to 30. Geological history, around 700,000 years ago, the island emerged from the ocean as a body of soft rock known as a diapir rose from the mantle beneath its present-day location. Economy and work for Antigua and Barbuda. GDP $2.34 2025, GDP per person $24.82 2025, currency Eastern Caribbean dollar. Daily life in numbers for Antigua and Barbuda. Life expectancy 77.8 years 2024. Internet use 72.7% 2024. Urban population 24.3% 2025. Official languages English. Selected historic milestones for Antigua and Barbuda. Country inception 1981 to 11 to 01. Carbon dating has established the earliest settlements started around 3100 BC. Kazakhstan at a glance for Kazakhstan. Capital, Astana. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population, 20,843,754 2025. Land area, 2,724,902 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, Upper Middle Income. Daily life in numbers for Kazakhstan. Life expectancy 74.5 years 2024. Internet use 93.4% 2024. Urban population 62.4% 2025. Official languages Russian, Kazakh. Selected historic milestones for Kazakhstan. Country inception 1991 to 01 to 01. The Botai culture 3700-3100 BC is credited with the first domestication of horses. Tunisia at a glance for Tunisia. Capital, Tunis. Region, Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Population, 12,348,573 2025. Land area, 163,610 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, Lower Middle Income. Daily life in numbers for Tunisia. Life expectancy 76.7 years 2024. Internet use 76.5% 2024. Urban population 70.7% 2025. Official languages Arabic. Selected historic milestones for Tunisia. Country inception 1956 to 03 to 20. Antiquity farming methods reached the Nile Valley from the Fertile Crescent region about 5000 BC and spread to the Maghreb by about 4000 BC. Economy and work for Chile. GDP $357.37 2025. GDP per person, $17.99 2025. Unemployment, 9.0% 2025. Currency, Chilean peso. Places, symbols, and discoveries for Chile. Highest point, Ojos del Salado. National anthem of Chile. A long and narrow coastal southern cone country on the west side of the Andes Mountains, Chile stretches over 4,300 km 2,670 mi north to south, but only 350 km 217 mi at its widest point east to west. Sierra Leone at a glance for Sierra Leone. Capital, Freetown. Region, Sub-Saharan Africa. Population, 8,819,794 2025. Land area, 72,300 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, low income. Daily life in numbers for Sierra Leone. Life expectancy, 62.0 years 2024. Internet use, 25.1% 2024. Urban population, 45.9% 2025. Official languages, English Creole. Selected historic milestones for Sierra Leone. Country inception, 1971 to 04 to 19. Early history Sierra Leone's history is marked by continuous human habitation for at least 2,500 years, influenced by migrations from across Africa. Economy and work for Suriname. GDP, $4.52 2025. GDP per person, $7.07 2025. Unemployment, 7.8% 2025. Currency, Surinamese dollar. Places, symbols, and discoveries for Suriname. Highest point, Julianatop. National anthem, God Zich Met on Suriname. Suriname is the smallest independent country in South America. Selected historic milestones for Suriname. Country inception, 1975 to 11 to 25. Pre-colonial indigenous settlement of Suriname dates back to 3000 BC. Italy at a glance for Italy. Capital, Rome. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population, 58,915,656, 2025. Land area, 302,070 km2, 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Daily life in numbers for Italy. Life expectancy 84.0 years 2024. Internet use 89.2% 2024. Urban population 69.7% 2025. Official languages Italian. Selected historic milestones for Italy. Country inception 0476 to 01 to 01. Prehistory and antiquity Lower Paleolithic artifacts dating back 850,000 years have been recovered from Monte Poggio. Economy and work for Montenegro. GDP $9.23 2025. GDP per person $14.82 2025. Unemployment 13.6% 2025. Currency Euro. Daily life in numbers for Montenegro. Life expectancy 77.9 years 2024. Internet use 88.9% 2024. Urban population 65.6% 2025. Official languages Montenegrin. Selected historic milestones for Montenegro. Country inception 2006 to 06 to 03. Duklja gained its independence from the Byzantine Roman Empire in 1042. New Caledonia at a glance for New Caledonia. Capital, Naumea. Region, East Asia and Pacific. Population, 295,333 2025. Land area, 18,580 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, High Income. Daily life in numbers for New Caledonia. Life expectancy 78.9 years 2024. Internet use 82.0% 2017. Urban population 68.2% 2025. Official languages French. Selected historic milestones for New Caledonia. Country inception 1853 to 01 to 01. British explorer James Cook was one of the first Europeans to sight New Caledonia on 4 September 1774 during his second voyage. Gibraltar at a glance for Gibraltar. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population 40,126 2025. Land area 10 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, High Income. Economy and work for Gibraltar. Currency, Gibraltar Pound. Daily life in numbers for Gibraltar. Life expectancy 83.6 years 2024. Internet use, 94.4% 2016. Urban population, 100.0% 2025. Official languages, British English. Selected historic milestones for Gibraltar. Country inception, 1704 to 01 to 01. Prehistory and ancient history, evidence of Neanderthal habitation in Gibraltar from around 50,000 years ago has been discovered at Gorham's Cave. Economy and work for Estonia. GDP, $47.03 2025. GDP per person, $34.42 2025. Unemployment, 8.3% 2025. Currency, Euro. Places, symbols and discoveries for Estonia. Highest point, Suumanamegi. National anthem, Mu Isama Mu on Yarum. Estonia is geographically located in Europe, on the eastern shores of the Baltic Sea, on the East European plain. Selected historic milestones for Estonia. Country inception, 1918 to 02 to 24. Prehistory, the oldest known settlement in Estonia is the Puli settlement that dates to the early 9th millennium BC, making it at least 11,000 years old. Economy and work for Israel. GDP, $610.78 2025. GDP per person, $60.34 2025. Unemployment, 3.5% 2025. Currency, new shekel. Places, symbols and discoveries for Israel. Highest point, Meron. National anthem, Hatikva. Israel is located in the Levant area of the Fertile Crescent. Selected historic milestones for Israel. Country inception, 1948 to 05 to 14. The second oldest evidence of anatomically modern humans outside Africa is a 200,000-year-old fossil from Mislia Cave on Mount Carmel. Solomon Islands at a glance for Solomon Islands. Capital, Honiara. Region, East Asia and Pacific. Population, 838,645 2025. Land area, 28,900 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, lower middle income. Daily life in numbers for Solomon Islands. Life expectancy, 70.7 years 2024. Internet use, 29.0% 2024. Urban population 31.3% 2025. Official languages English. Selected historic milestones for Solomon Islands. Country inception 1978 to 01 to 01. 30,000 28,000 BC, based on archaeological evidence found at Kilu Cave on Buka Island in the autonomous region of Bougainville, Papua New Guinea. Economy and work for Israel. GDP $610.78 B 2025. GDP per person $60.34 K 2025. Unemployment 3.5% 2025. Currency new shekel. Daily life in numbers for Israel. Life expectancy 83.2 years 2024. Internet use 88.2% 2024. Urban population 91.6% 2025. Official languages Hebrew. Places, symbols and discoveries for Israel. Highest point Meron. National anthem Hatikva. Israel is located in the Levant area of the Fertile Crescent. Selected historic milestones for Israel. Country inception 1948 to 05 to 14. The second oldest evidence of anatomically modern humans outside Africa is a 200,000-year-old fossil from Mislia Cave on Mount Carmel. China at a glance for China. Capital, Beijing. Region, East Asia and Pacific. Population, 1,406,585,000 2025. Land area, 9,562,910 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, Upper Middle Income. Daily life in numbers for China. Life expectancy 78.0 years 2024. Internet use 91.6% 2025. Urban population 66.3% 2025. Official languages Putonghua. Selected historic milestones for China. Country inception 1949 to 10 to 01. Modern Homo sapiens are attested from around 50,000 years ago. Sudan at a glance for Sudan. Capital, Khartoum. Region, Sub-Saharan Africa. Population, 51,662,147, 2025. Land area, 1,878,000 km2, 2023. World Bank Income Group, low income. Daily life in numbers for Sudan. Life expectancy, 66.5 years 2024. Internet use, 18.6% 2017. Urban population, 34.9% 2025. Official languages, English, Arabic. Selected historic milestones for Sudan. Country inception, 1956 to 01 to 01. 8000 BC Afad 23 is an archaeological site located in the Afad region of southern Dongola Reach in northern Sudan, which hosts the well-preserved remains of prehistoric camps relics of the oldest. Economy and work for Tuvalu, GDP, $57.35 m 2025, GDP per person, $6.04 k 2025, currency, Tuvaluan dollar, Australian dollar. Daily life in numbers for Tuvalu, life expectancy, 67.3 years 2024, internet use, 35.2% 2017. Urban population, 65.4% 2025. Official languages, English, Tuvaluan. Selected historic milestones for Tuvalu. Country inception, 1978 to 10 to 01. Pre-colonial history, the origins of the people of Tuvalu are addressed in the theories regarding the migration into the Pacific that began about 3,000 years ago. Economy and work for Portugal. GDP, $346.64 b 2025. GDP per person, $32.08 k 2025. Unemployment, 6.2% 2025. Currency, Euro. Places, symbols and discoveries for Portugal. Highest point, Mount Pico. Portugal's territory comprises mainland Portugal and the Azores and Madeira archipelagos. Selected historic milestones for Portugal. Country inception, 1128 to 07 to 01. Prehistory, the region has been inhabited by humans since approximately 400,000 years ago. New Caledonia at a glance for New Caledonia. Capital, Naumea. Region, East Asia and Pacific. Population, 295,333 2025. Land area, 18,580 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, high income. Daily life in numbers for New Caledonia. Life expectancy, 78.9 years 2024. Internet use, 82.0% 2017. Urban population, 68.2% 2025. Official languages, French. Selected historic milestones for New Caledonia. Country inception, 1853 to 01 to 01. British explorer James Cook was one of the first Europeans to sight New Caledonia on 4 September 1774 during his second voyage. Economy and work for Seychelles. GDP, $2.39 2025. GDP per person, $19.45 2025. Currency, Seychellois rupee. Daily life in numbers for Seychelles. Life expectancy, 76.3 years 2024. Internet use, 87.8% 2024. Urban population, 45.5% 2025. Official languages, French, English, Seychellois Creole. Selected historic milestones for Seychelles. Country inception, 1976 to 06 to 29. Tombs visible until 1910 at Ants Lascars on Silhouette Island have also been conjectured to belong to later Maldivian and Arab traders visiting the archipelago. Economy and work for South Africa. GDP, $427.18 2025. GDP per person, $6.6K 2025. Unemployment, 32.4% 2025. Currency, Rand. Places, symbols and discoveries for South Africa. Highest point, Mafadi. National anthem of Mzansi. South Africa is in southern Africa, with a coastline that stretches more than 2,500 km 1,553 mi and along two oceans, the South Atlantic and the Indian Ocean. Central African Republic at a glance for Central African Republic. Capital, Bangui. Region, Sub-Saharan Africa. Population, 5,513,282, 2025. Land area, 622,980 km2, 2023. World Bank Income Group, low income. Daily life in numbers for Central African Republic. Life expectancy, 57.7 years 2024. Internet use, 13.8% 2024. Urban population, 44.6% 2025. Official languages, French Sango. Selected historic milestones for Central African Republic. Country inception, 1960 to 01 to 01. Early history, approximately 10,000 years ago. Desertification forced hunter-gatherer societies south into the Sahel regions of northern Central Africa, where some groups settled. Economy and work for Vietnam. GDP, $514.7 2025. GDP per person, $5.07 2025. Unemployment, 1.5% 2025. Currency, Vietnamese D/3 . Places, symbols, and discoveries for Vietnam. Highest point, Phan Xipang. National anthem, Ti Letawani Bf En Quan Ka. Vietnam is located on the eastern Indochinese peninsula between the latitudes 8 degrees and 24 degrees N and the longitudes 102 degrees and 110 degrees E. Belgium at a glance for Belgium. Capital, Brussels. Region, Europe and Central Asia. Population, 11,941,781, 2025. World Bank Income Group, high income. Economy and work for Belgium. GDP per person, $60.75 2025. Currency, Euro. Daily life in numbers for Belgium. Life expectancy, 82.3 years 2024. Internet use, 95.8% 2024. Official languages, French, German, Dutch. Places, symbols and discoveries for Belgium. Highest point, Signal de Botrange. National anthem, the Brabançon. Belgium shares borders with France 620 km, 390 mi, Germany 162/167 km, Luxembourg 148 km, 92 mi, and the Netherlands 450 km, 280 mi. Tonga at a glance for Tonga. Capital, Nuku'alofa. Region, East Asia and Pacific. World Bank Income Group, upper middle income. Economy and work for Tonga. GDP, $679.22 m 2025. Currency, Tongan Pahanga. Daily life in numbers for Tonga. Official languages, English Tongan. Places, symbols and discoveries for Tonga. Highest point, Cow. National anthem, Koe Fasi o Itai o I Otu Tonga. Located in Oceania, Tonga is an archipelago in the South Pacific Ocean, directly south of Samoa and about two-thirds of the way from Hawaii to New Zealand. Bolivia at a glance. For Bolivia, capital, La Paz, region, Latin America and Caribbean, World Bank income group, lower middle income. Economy and work. For Bolivia, GDP, $64.77 2025, GDP per person, $5.15 2025, currency, Boliviano. Daily life in numbers. For Bolivia, internet use, 79.7% 2024, urban population, 71.6% 2025, official languages, Spanish, Aymara, Quechua. Places, symbols and discoveries. For Bolivia, highest point, Nevado Sajama, national anthem of Bolivia. Bolivia is located in the central zone of South America, between 57 degrees 26, 69 degrees 38, when 9 degrees 38, 22 degrees 53. Pakistan at a glance. For Pakistan, capital, Islamabad, region, Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan and Pakistan, population, 255,219,554 2025, World Bank income group, lower middle income. Daily life in numbers. For Pakistan, official languages, Urdu, English. Places, symbols and discoveries. For Pakistan, highest point, K2, national anthem, Qawmi Tarana. Pakistan's diverse geography and climate host a wide array of wildlife. Selected historic milestones for Pakistan. Country inception, 1947 to 08 to 14. The Indus Plain region, which covers most of the present-day Pakistan, was the site of several successive ancient cultures, including the Neolithic 7000-4300 BCE site of Mayagar and the 5000-year. Economy and work. For San Marino, GDP $2.03 2023, GDP per person $59.87 2023, currency, euro. Daily life in numbers. For San Marino, life expectancy 85.8 years 2024, internet use 97.4% 2024, urban population 97.2% 2025, official languages, Italian. Selected historic milestones for San Marino. Country inception 0301 to 09 to 04. In 1291, San Marino appealed to the Bishop of Arezzo, Ildebrandino Guidi di Roma, against the contribution demands by the Vicario del Montefeltro. Economy and work for Puerto Rico, U.S. GDP $129.37 2025. GDP per person $40.62 2025. Unemployment 6.0% 2025. Currency United States dollar. Places, symbols, and discoveries for Puerto Rico, U.S. Highest point, Cerro de Punta. National anthem, La Borinqueña. More open content trivia was not available for this profile. Selected historic milestones for Puerto Rico, U.S. Country inception, 1898 to 01 to 01. A reliable open content history extract was not available. Syrian Arab Republic at a glance for Syrian Arab Republic. Capital, Damascus. Region, Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan and Pakistan. Population, 25,620,427 2025. Land area, 185,180 km2 2023. World Bank Income Group, low income. Daily life in numbers for Syrian Arab Republic. Life expectancy 72.6 years 2024. Internet use 33.8% 2018. Urban population 72.1% 2025. Official languages Arabic. Selected historic milestones for Syrian Arab Republic. Country inception 1920 to 03 to 08. Ebla appears to have been founded around 3500 BC and gradually built its fortune through trade with the Mesopotamian states of Sumer, Assyria, and Akkad, as well as with the Hurrian and Hatchan peoples too. Economy and work for Ghana. GDP $114.21 2025. GDP per person $3.26 2025. Unemployment 3.0% 2025. Currency Ghana cedi. Places, symbols, and discoveries for Ghana. Highest point, Mount Afadja. National anthem, God Bless Our Homeland Ghana. Ghana lies on the Gulf of Guinea in West Africa, a few degrees north of the equator. Selected historic milestones for Ghana. Country inception, 1957 to 01 to 01. In 1481, King John Roman II of Portugal commissioned Diogo de Azambuja to build Elmina Castle, which was completed in 3 years. Palau at a glance for Palau. Capital, Kora, region, East Asia and Pacific, population, 17,663 2025, land area, 460 km2 2023, World Bank income group, high income. Daily life in numbers for Palau. Life expectancy, 69.4 years 2024. Internet use, 83.9% 2024. Urban population, 79.3% 2025. Official languages, English, Japanese, Palauan. Selected historic milestones for Palau. Country inception, 1994 to 10 to 01. Sonsorol was sighted by the Spanish as early as 1521, when the Spanish mission of the Trinidad, the flagship of Ferdinand Magellan's voyage of circumnavigation, sighted 2 small islands around the 5th. Economy and work for Serbia. GDP, $99.95 2025. GDP per person, $15.26 2025. Unemployment, 7.1% 2025. Currency, Serbian dinar. Places, symbols and discoveries for Serbia. Highest point, Velika Rudoka. National anthem, Boj Pravd. A landlocked country situated at the crossroads between Central and Southeastern Europe, Serbia is located in the Balkan Peninsula and the Pannonian Plain. Chile at a glance for Chile. Capital, Santiago. Region, Latin America and Caribbean. Population, 19,859,921 2025. Land area, 757,245 km2 2023. World Bank income group, high income. Daily life in numbers for Chile. Life expectancy, 81.4 years 2024. Internet use, 95.6% 2024. Urban population, 89.2% 2025. Official languages, Spanish. Selected historic milestones for Chile. Country inception, 1810 to 09 to 18. Early history stone tool evidence indicates humans sporadically frequented the Monte Verde Valley area as far back as 18,500 years ago. Economy and work for Czechia. GDP $391.03 2025. GDP per person $35.92 2025. Unemployment 2.8% 2025. Currency Czech koruna. Places, symbols and discoveries for Czechia. Highest point, Snežka. National anthem, KDE Dom of Mudge. The Czech Republic lies mostly between latitudes 48 degrees and 51 degrees N and longitudes 12 degrees and 19 degrees E.